series that's telling us bodybuilding. I got Bo Lewis is back with us, and the first thing I want to say is, you guys please like and subscribe. Bo, do you know that on when you have a YouTube channel, you can look up your analytics, and 75% of people that watch my YouTube channel come back and watch it again, but they're not subscribed. So we need them to subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button. It doesn't cost nothing, nothing like that. Just hit it, and then come back
Yeah.
and enjoy the the content. So Bo is now a friend. We're friends. You're a partner on me. We're on MD, and I've interviewed her on this platform, but now we got a little bit of a different interview. It's not so much about bodybuilding, although it might tie into it a little bit, but it's about your past.
Yeah.
And so I just we'll just start from the beginning. Tell me about where you grew up and what it was like being a young Bo Lewis.
Well, I grew up in Memphis.
Okay.
You know, grew up in a family where we wasn't poor, but we wasn't rich. Yeah. One thing happened, when cousins or whatever, what I'm saying, life hit, you got other family members come move with you. And, that's how we grew up. It
Mhm.
was, at one time, it was a lot of us in like a 4 or 5 bedroom house, but we made it through. But that's like, growing up, that's one thing I can say, I ain't never had it rough. Because I always had godparents, godmama, goddad, and, my grandmama and dad, and, what I'm saying, mom and all that. So I really didn't have it rough.
Your parents were together?
Nah, they wasn't together, but, I still, like, me, I was the only, I ain't gonna say the only one, but I was one of the ones who really got what he wanted.
Ah, I got you. Okay. Did you who raised you? Your grandmother, your mother, father?
My mama and my grandmama.
Okay. Okay. All right. So how old are you now, Bo?
44. I'll be
Okay.
45 next month.
All right. Oh, good. Happy birthday, man. I just turned 47.
Hmm.
So we're talking about the 90s. You're probably growing up in the 90s in high school, right?
Yeah.
So you're in Memphis, and tell us how you got into the street and so on and so forth.
It was, I always played sports and stuff like that. So coming through school and being in sports, like, we in the hood, and a lot of the guys the dope boys out there, they used to take care of me. They used to always tell me, man, look, stay out the street. As long as you stay out the street, we got you.
Hmm.
So I played basketball, played football. They used to come to my games and stuff and watch me play ball and stuff all the time. But when you get older, you gonna make your own decisions. You gonna listen, but you ain't gonna listen to everything. So, and
Hmm.
that led one thing to another to where, okay, I still played ball all the way through school and stuff like that. But it was like, all right, I'm still finna do other things. You know what I'm saying? I ain't just get out there and go crazy or nothing like that because I always work too, though.
Hmm.
Like, I went got a job at Taco Bell when I was young, and I'm still cool with them guys to this day. Me and them guys been cool since 94.
Wow.
The same guys, and we still cool to this day.
So you were what, like 14 years old at the time?
Yeah, 14, 15 years old. So,
Right.
and them same guys I talk to right now.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. So you're 14, 15 years old. You're working at Taco Bell. You're playing sports. The guys on the street kind of got your back as long as you're staying out of trouble. And then what happens then?
It's like, I in high school, I was getting to the point to where, going to school, and I used to go to the library all the time. I used to skip school sometimes to go to the library and read myself because
Mm.
I felt like the teachers weren't teaching me. So what's the best thing to do? I go teach myself. So as I'm going to the library, I learn a couple things, and come back, and when the teacher try to tell you something and they got it wrong, you don't want to just be out loud and tell them that they're wrong. So I try to show a couple of them, like, look, this is what it said on this here.
Right.
And some of them will be offended because you know a little something that they don't know. Some will be like, yeah, you're right. So I just felt like they couldn't teach me, so I left school.
Wow.
I left school and I ended up going to job corps like in when it was 96, I think. I think it was 96, 97, one of them. I went to job corps for a minute.
So
And
you were about, when you were left school, you were about 16, 17?
yeah,
Okay. And then what's job for?
it's it's like a college really though. You know what I'm saying? It's big. You can
Okay.
go get your education, go get your GED diploma and all that stuff. You go
Okay.
get trades, all kind of trades. I'm talking about they teach you so much. So if anybody, you know what I'm saying, like if you drop out of school and you want to go get your education or learn some stuff, you can go to job corps, man. They taking people all the way up to I think 20, 23 or something like that years old.
Mhm.
So you can get your education, you can get a trade. I did auto body or mechanic up there. So
Yeah, that's a great trade. And that's one thing that a lot of young guys don't realize is they don't realize, I don't know, it's not pressed for some reason. They don't realize how much money tradesmen really make. They make good money.
yeah,
You know, I'm a blue collar guy too, and all my friends are blue collar guys, and we have houses and wives, and most of us have kids. I mean, I don't have kids, but most of us have kids. It seems like the young generation goes, all right, I'm either going to college or I'm dicking around, you know.
hmm
All right. So go ahead, continue. So you went to Job Corps.
yeah. I went to job corps, and well, before I went to job corps, I ended up having a child.
Mm,
I had one girl, then I went to job corps.
okay.
Then like went to job corps, got my trade, came back, and it was like, okay, what you gonna do now? So for a minute, I'm like, all right, I'm looking around, looking around. I ended up going back to work with the same guys that I started working with at the first time. So I go back to work with them, and I'm like, okay, I need a little bit more money. Got a child or whatever.
You went back to Taco Bell, you mean?
Yeah, I went to another one. My guy got his own restaurant, so I went
Okay.
back there. But then I'm like, I need a little bit more money.
Mm,
So I started doing construction and painting, and got to making money with that. So I stuck with that for a minute.
mm-hmm.
Then it was like 2002. Yeah, 2002. End up getting into it out there in the apartments one day and end up going to prison. Well, I went to jail. I was in the count, went to jail.
So what do you mean get into it? Were you working? Getting
Nah, I was just at the house then.
so you were home?
Yeah, and I ended
Okay.
up getting into it with a guy, and one thing led to another one.
Can you give a little detail? You don't have to mention names or anything like that.
Yeah, we had an altercation, and me like back then I was the one like if you say what you're gonna do, you got to stand on that. You can't tell me or you know what I'm saying, act a certain kind of way and you don't stand on that.
Mm,
So he ain't stand on that, and I wanted a piece of that. So me and the guy got into it, and guy ended up passing.
ugh. Do you know what the altercation was about? Do you remember?
Yeah, it was some real crazy. It was put like this. It was something that could have been avoided, all from not, you know what I'm saying? Like you can't put it like that. You can't say certain things. You know what I'm saying? When you say certain things, and you just got to watch what you say. You can't a disrespect towards a man is disrespect. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It don't matter what kind of disrespect it is. You don't
Mm,
disrespect no grown man,
right.
and that's how it happened. So when I feel like I got disrespected, then I'm okay. Now I got to do something about that.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. Like there are certain things that a man could say, and it's instinctual. It's like you're testing my manhood.
Yeah,
See, at our age now, you kind of could think through it and go, okay, let me walk away. I'm too old. I got too much to lose. But when you're a young man and they test you, it's pretty hard, you know. So
yeah.
how old were you at this time?
I think I was what 21.
Yes. So you're
And I
21
grew
years old. Go ahead,
and I
I'm sorry.
grew up not like people know me from fighting. I can fight. I wasn't no one to start nothing. Like I was the one, like if somebody picking on you, that like back in the day bullying you,
Right.
I go beat up the bullies.
All right.
I wasn't with all that other stuff. I ain't letting nobody to get bullied and stuff like that. I go holler at them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're home. You get into an altercation with this guy. It's okay if you don't want to talk about what it was about. Was it about a woman? Was it anything like that? Or usually that's what it is, a girl.
It was about that and some more stuff, really though.
Okay.
It
All
was,
right.
you know,
And you got into some words, and I'm sure you probably said things that were crossing the line.
yeah.
And so, if you don't mind me asking, how how did he die?
Blunt force trauma, and uh,
So you beat him to death.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So now you're 21. This guy now, did you know immediately, or did you find out later that he was gone?
Mm. Like it, at first I didn't know, but like people, you got that feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like maybe I should stop. When you got that, maybe I should stop feeling. Then you know something ain't right.
Hmm.
And I had that feeling like maybe I should have stopped. You know what I'm saying? But
Hmm.
it was done. But it was like probably like 2, maybe 3 days later found out.
And then what happened from there?
Went, got the people came, picked me up, took me downtown, questioned me, that whole process, all that stuff. And I ended up staying in the county jail for like a year and a half, going back and forth to court over my case.
Right.
But it was so crazy though, because while I'm going back and forth to court, well, before I even went to court, they had me charged with like 5 charges.
Hmm.
And one up, well, it was so crazy because it was like a special aggravated robbery, special aggravated kidnapping, facilitation of first degree, and 2 first-degree murder charges. They say I was in 2 different spots at the same time. I'm
Okay.
Superman, so
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm
But the
Superman.
kidnapping and the robbery, was that accurate, or is that just something they tossed on? I don't know how it works
Like if
because
you can get a kidnapping charge just from taking one person from like from this space right here to this space. That's
oh,
kidnapping.
okay, I got you.
You know,
Yeah. So if you
and
if you if you grab him and drag him into the house, it's kidnapping.
you can drag them off the sidewalk. They can hit you with a
Ah,
kidnapping. You can't.
uh,
It's the moving of the person. Period.
I got you. Okay,
That'll get you a kidnapping charge.
okay. And then what about
Then
the
like
the
it was
robbery
like
charge?
it was right about the election time down there. So you catching the case at the election time. If you ain't throwing out top dollar, then you might well be ready to uh, take your chances.
Yeah, right. All right, so you go down to the precinct. They charge you. You got 5 different charges, and what happens from there?
We end up going to court, and like when I went to court, it was a judge. I was like, downstairs and upstairs. I'm downstairs going to court, and it was a lady judge down there, and she's right when I was supposed to go up. The lady told everybody to leave the room except all the attorneys, me and my attorney. And when I tell you the lady went off, the lady told the people, y'all better not never bring this kind of case in my courtroom again. It sounds like y'all up to no good with this young man and this and that, such. Which she was right though, you know what I'm saying? Cause 5 charges on one. Come on now.
Right.
And she told him, she was like, I don't understand what y'all call yourself doing, and this ain't gonna fly in my courtroom.
Hmm.
She said, I'm not with it. And she talked, but then like eventually you got to go upstairs if your case don't get thrown out downstairs.
Hmm.
And I had a young DA that was downstairs, he used to come talk to me all the time. Hey, you ready to do these 100 years? And I told him, yeah, if you do the first 50, I'll do the second 50. You know, I ain't trying to hear that part, but
Yeah, right.
we end up, he was like, you're going to be all right. He said, I understand what you're going through. So, okay. They end up sending my case upstairs. And then, like, right when we got upstairs, I probably seen him one time and they switched DAs upstairs
Wow.
to some older guy. And when I tell you, man, I'm telling you, it's the system is crooked as a mother, man.
I can imagine.
Like, I talked to this man, the man called me and told me right in front of my lawyer face, you ain't going home. I'm gonna convict you. And when I convict you, me and your lawyer going out to eat. When he said that, I looked at my lawyer.
Mm.
He ain't say nothing.
Now, did you have a legal defendant, or you actually hired somebody?
Not at the moment, cause as you going through the process, you don't hire nobody when you going through the first steps, cause that's gonna be a waste of money.
Right, 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 right.
But when you get started, you know what I'm saying, then you hire something better.
Okay.
So when I'm looking at it like that, I'm like, okay, it's whatever, you know what I'm saying? So I looked at dude, I'm like, hey, you need to say something. So the
Right.
man didn't say nothing. But then it was like after that, I went back to the party and stuff like that. Then I got a visitation from my lawyer. So he came, he told me like, look, the reason why I ain't saying nothing cause all the charges getting dropped except for one. He was like, but it's up to you which one you want to take. He was like, I'm like, up to me? What you mean? He was like, it's up to you. So I was like, all right. So like 2 weeks later, I ended up going back to court. And I went back to court, the same DA called me in the room again and told me, did you talk to your lawyer? I was like, yeah, well, what's up? What you talking about? He was like, you ain't going home. He said, but I'm gonna give you a choice. You can take one of these charges. Whichever one you want, that's the one you can get. So I'm like, should I just take the charge or just go on and go to trial? But I can't go to trial because they got my face on news. When your face on news down there for more than 2 weeks, you already
Yeah.
convicted.
Yeah, you're guilty. Right.
Yeah, you convicted. And then they got me on there, they talking like he a monster.
Yeah.
So like I'm downtown, like I'm doing push-ups, working out with water bags and stuff like that because we didn't have weights. So I'm getting a little bigger because I used to work out on the street before I even got locked up.
Mm.
So I got a little bigger. Like I used to have to go to court with the thermals on, with the tops and stuff on. Cause
Mm.
my lawyer be like, hey, man, you done got bigger, you look, you know what I'm saying? They're gonna take this as aggression. Cause you was
Oh,
already on TV, like they saying I'm an animal, you know what I'm saying? I'm a monster.
right, right.
So when I used to have to go to court, I made sure I had my thermals on and stuff like that. I used to have to wear big shirts to kind of try to hide my body a little bit. So the man was telling me like, I'm gonna let you pick whichever one of them charges you want. That's the charge I'm gonna give you. So I'm looking at it like, okay, special aggravated kidnapping, you'll never get a job with that charge.
Right.
Special aggravated robbery, you'll never get a job. But murder, who gonna hire you with a murder charge? So now I'm looking at it like, what my future finna be like. You know what I'm saying? So the guy was like, make your decision. You know what I'm saying? So I go to court one time, I was like, I ain't ready. I get it pushed back so I can go to court again. So I sit back, call to the house, talk to the moms and stuff like that, and see what she was talking about. You know what I'm saying? And telling her what was going on. Then I end up going back to court. So I'm like, okay. Then like before I'm going to court, like I'm seeing stuff on TV. Now it's the time. I mean, we used to get the newspapers in prison. So I'm reading the newspaper, and then in the newspaper it's like time to make a decision. Like I'm seeing signs of, you know what I'm saying? Make a
Mm-hmm.
decision. Now is your time and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay. Went to court. I told you, I was like, okay. I'm not taking no murder charge or the kidnapping charge. I take the special aggravated robbery charge. And that's what I end up with. I got a special aggravated robbery. And the guy was asking me, like, what kind of time do you want? He asking me. I told him, I said, I take 20 years at 20%. The man told me, nah. He said, if I give you 20 years at 20%, he said, you look like one of them guys. He said, you smart. He said, I'll never see you in prison. He said, you won't even come back to jail again. He said, nah, if I give somebody 20 years at 20%, I want the ones that I know gonna come back to jail.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like, He was like, 15 years. So I was like, nah, I ain't taking that. He ended up leaving again, come back. He said, 15 years. He said, take it or leave, or you want to go to trial. So I told him, I said, well, all right. Took the 15 years at 100%.
Wow. And was there any truth to the robbery charge, or that was just something you were able to
The
pick?
same thing they tell, like, anything been taken or moved on the body, it's the same way. It's a robbery.
Ah,
You
okay.
know, they gonna find like any kind of way to charge you when
So if his
they
watch
got
is missing, it's robbery.
like if somebody said he had a ring on, he probably ain't had no
Right.
ring on. He had a ring on, so
Okay.
now that's a robbery charge, stuff like that.
Okay. All right. So just to make it clear, like this, when you got into the altercation with this guy, this was just like something you had a problem with him individually. It wasn't a gang thing. It wasn't anything like that. It was something you had a problem with individually, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how old were you when you got sentenced to the 15 years?
What I was 20, 22, 23, I think.
And
And
how old was your daughter at that time?
I had just had another daughter.
Oh
So
wow. Okay.
yeah, I just had another daughter, and she was just turned 1.
Mm. And
And then I had my other one. I think she was like 7.
all right.
Yeah, I think she was like 7 years old then.
Okay. All right. So you take the 15 years, and you're 23 years old, and what happens then?
End up going to prison. When you go to prison, you got to go through classification. You got to stay in 23 and 1 lockdown all day.
Really?
Just for classification.
How long ago? How long did you have to do that?
You got to think. I think I did like a week like that till they found a bed on what we call the compound for you to go to. So once I got over there, and it like you know how you see you cool with guys growing up, and all of a sudden you don't see them guys no more. You don't
Hmm.
Ain't nobody heard from them. You think they moved out of town or whatever? Them guys in prison. Them guys like when I got to prison, I'm looking at them, I'm like, man, I know you. I'm talking about I know a lot of these guys in prison.
Right.
And so when I get to the compound, first thing they say, Bo, grab a ball. Cause they know I played ball.
Right.
So we get to playing ball, we on the compound, then like you got a choice. Like that wasn't the place where I was originally supposed to be at. So they'll call you to the little office or whatever, then you get a choice. They'll ask you like 3 spots that you want to go to.
Hmm.
And I told them I was ready to go to Whiteville because it wasn't too far from the house. I can get visitation and stuff like that. So I
Okay.
ended up getting moved to Whiteville. And like, I'm in classification in Whiteville, and they put your stuff in a little bucket, like what you see on TV where they be pushing and stuff.
Hmm.
They put your stuff in a bucket. So
Okay.
right when they got my stuff in the bucket, I'm in the room, they push my stuff outside, and people already know you coming. The ones in jail, they know where you going before you even know you going.
Right.
So I walk out the door, and my bucket gone. So I'm like, somebody done stole my stuff already.
Right.
And one of my guys that I ain't seen in a minute that was at the county jail with me. He came to me, he was like, man, I took your stuff to your pod. Come on, I'm gonna show you where you're going. So I end up going to my pod and stuff like that. I get
What,
down there.
and
I
when you
know
say
a lot of
pod,
them guys.
what exactly do you mean by pod?
It's a it's like like a college dorm, man.
Ah,
You
okay,
you got to
okay.
stay. You got to. It's something like what you see on TV, but it ain't like that. You
I
know,
got you.
it's the
Okay,
upstairs and downstairs, A, B, C, and D, and stuff like that.
gotcha.
A
Okay, so
part, B part, C part.
okay, so it's where everybody's like, sleeping or hanging out or whatever.
Yeah, that's your housing unit right there.
Okay, a housing unit. All right. So your friend takes your stuff, brings it down to the pod. He says, "Let me show you where you're going," and you wind up knowing a bunch of guys from the neighborhood over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so now you're still close by. So I'm assuming you're still in Memphis.
Yeah, it's probably like 45 minutes from Memphis. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
okay. All right.
Quick little
Okay.
drive.
All right. All right. So go ahead.
Yeah, so get my stuff and I go on to my room and stuff like that. And like you got to order everything. Back then, you had to order your hot pot, your TV, your fans and stuff like that, your trimmers, all that.
Mm.
So I end up getting this stuff like later on down the line. But like in prison ain't what a lot like that stuff y'all see on TV. It ain't nothing like that, man. It's things going on in prison to where like I seen some stuff. I'm like, man, y'all pitiful.
Say it again.
But I seen some stuff in prison to where I'm telling people like, y'all pitiful. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, okay, gotcha.
But it's actually some good stuff can come out of prison, man. Like same way in prison. You can go get your education. You can
Hmm.
go take up trades and I'm talking about everything.
Okay, well that's
Like,
definitely a benefit. Yeah.
yeah, so then it's like what a dollar is out here, $5. What you get for $5 out here is $10 in prison though.
Mm,
So everything is double.
gotcha.
That's why like all my years in prison, I ain't never had a hard year in prison.
Really?
I ain't never had a hard year in prison.
You think that's because you knew all the guys and you had like you had a crew, you already had a car, or or do you think it was just people people exaggerate what prison is?
No, it's like when people know you, they know who you is. Like if you one of them guys to where I ain't the toughest guy in the world, but I can't back down. I don't fear no man, no man, no animal.
Right.
So me and like this come from the street to when I first got to jail, to the county jail.
Mm,
I ain't take no mess when I first got to the jail. Like people used to look at me and be like, man, where you come from? Some of the ones that didn't know me. And the whole time, like I ain't do that touching and stuff like that. Don't touch me. I don't do that playing and stuff like that. Nah. Then everybody see me working out. I'm not working out. I'm lifting weight. I mean shooting ball. Or I'm sitting at the spade table playing spade and stuff.
right. Right.
So a lot of people knew like me from the county, and some knew me from the street. Like don't play with dude. Dude got them
Right.
hands.
Right.
He gonna fight and he don't back down. So when I got to prison, it was the same way. It's a little different because people got knives, they got their shanks and stuff like that in prison. But, without their shank, who is you?
Right. Right.
You know? I ain't I ain't never well, I got into a couple altercations though, because of like one dude tried to tell me about a part officer. Now that's my homeboy girlfriend. So I'm like, huh? Like, how you gonna have? You can say what you want to say about it, but you ain't going home with this girl. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
so
Right.
why is you claiming it? So I asked him. I said, huh? He said, man, that's my homeboy. And right when he said homeboy, I put him to sleep.
Really?
Yeah,
All
I left
right.
the same spot where he was talking at is the same spot that he fell
Uh, okay. I'm glad we're friends, by the way.
at. You know, then like I used to, it was cool. Like if I get in the shower, I used to have people at the shower at each end of the showers or something like that, standing guard at the showers for me. Then like at night, we used to go outside. I used to go outside and run around, jog around the track and stuff like that. And I used to have some of the Aryan nations. You know what I'm saying? Used to send guys out, hey, Bo going outside. Y'all go
Really?
outside and run with Bo.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you serve all 15 years in the same spot, or you would transfer?
Nah, I did like I think I did like 6 years at Whiteville. Yeah, from '03 to '09 at Whiteville. Then I told them people, I was like, look, it's time for me to go. They were like, nah, you one of the good ones. You're a model or inmate. You one of the good ones. You don't cause no problem. So I just told the people, I was like, look, y'all gonna ship me somewhere else, or I ain't gonna be held accountable for what I do to somebody when I walk out this door.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I was just getting tired of being there. It was time for me to go. So the lady was like, nah, we ain't gonna ship you. So I said, all right. And I walk out this door now. Whatever happened to somebody out here in this hallway, it's on you. So like when I reached at the door to go out the door, the lady told me, turn around. So she asked me where I wanted to go, and I told her where I wanted to go to. A lot of it's a prison. This prison right here where I went to, it's called the Turner Center. It used to be what they called Thunderdome.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm talking about when I tell you it used to go down, it used to go down. Like if you can't stand up on your 2 feet, you don't need to go there, no man. You need to find somewhere else to go.
Wow. Really?
People used to ask me, man, but why you want to go there? I told them, man, they got weights.
Yeah.
They got a hand. And I said, man, send me to the Turner Center. So I ended up going to the Turner Center, and they ended up moving me to a part on the hill. And like when I get up in there, like I see guys in there coming from another part, and some of them guys don't know me, so I'm looking at them guys. I'm like, who is these dudes? Asking somebody else. He was like, man, be careful of them. They rob people. I'm like, rob? They rob? He was like, yeah, be careful. I was like, nah, they don't be careful. I said, they know who to, you know what I'm saying, mess with it, who not to play with.
Mm.
But I ain't never had no problems up in that part or nothing like that. Then we used to go to the, we used to go down to the, they call Rick. We go down the hill, go to the, where the weights and stuff is. And I used to be down there lifting. And some of the guys were down there, they lift too. So I ended up getting cool with some of them guys.
Mm.
Then like one day they told me to pack up. You going to the annex. So the annex it's a good part. You get more freedom at the annex. So I go to the annex and I stayed over there for maybe like 4 years, I think,
Mm.
at the annex. And that's when like I broke all kind of records in weightlifting and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I used to talk about squatting and deadlifting and stuff. Like I would bench well over 500, squatting
Really?
well over 700. Deadlift, I was almost at 800 deadlift.
Wow. How much were you weighing at the time?
I probably was about, I was anywhere between 240 and 250 then.
Wow.
I got up to like 258 one time.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. All right. Before, were you able to? How'd you get so big though? I mean, what about eating and whatnot? And were you, I'm assuming you just got 3 meals.
Nah, no. I was the chow man. I used to work in the chow hall. I was one of the head cooks in the chow hall.
Okay.
So
All right.
yeah, I used to cook and stuff like that. But then
Yeah.
I was the store man too. So like if you come, you need some, you get one sausage or something like that, you bring me two back. So I was the
Ah.
store man. So I kept food, but then I had money on my books and stuff like that. So I would never run out of food. So I used to eat good. When I tell you, I used to get drug tested like every month. Man, how Bo so big and everybody else is staying the same. I tell them because I eat, man.
Right. Right.
So I get drug tested all the time. But then like I had one of the people, one of the officers called me to the office one time and was like, man, I looked up your case and this and that. It was like, did you really do what they say. I said, man, some of yeah, but some of I said, nah, they just put that stuff in there just to give me the pills.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up one of that guy there, he ended up being cool with me. His wife used to make me food. He used to bring me
Really?
food. Yeah. Like whatever you eating out here on the street, that's what I was eating.
Really?
Yeah, I was eating shrimp, steak, candy
Wow.
yams, and all that type of stuff. Yeah, I was eating good.
Wow. All right. It's almost like the movie Goodfellas.
Yeah, I was eating good, man.
All right. So you're working out. You really don't have a problem. Is it like what they say it is? Or is everything segregated? Do you have like the white guys stay with the white guys, Spanish stay with Spanish, black guys stay with the black guys?
It is, but it ain't though. Like me, I ain't with that racist stuff. You got some of them black guys under they race, some of them white guys race. Okay, but me, I ain't with that stuff. Like the head dude that was over the Aryan Nation,
Mm-hmm.
people didn't even know it. You know, they say Aryan Nation don't like blacks or whatever, this and that. The man was married to a black girl.
Really?
I was the only one that knew that though.
Really?
He used to tell me all the time, "Bo, don't say nothing." I'm like, man, you cool with me, cricket? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna say nothing. I ain't had a black girl.
How did you befriend a guy from the Aryan Nation?
It was something happened one time and I saved one of his guys.
Really?
Yeah, they was finna do something to one of his guys. I told him, no, not in front of me. Y'all ain't doing that. And they went tell him, so he came talk to him. And I told him what was going on. I said, nah, it ain't going down like that in front of me. You know what I'm saying? They could have took that somewhere else, but in front of me, I said, nah. Then you ain't finna make the part hard because like in prison, we had cell phones.
Mm.
And they took the cigarettes out, so people still was getting cigarettes. They was getting their weed and all that type of stuff. And I had a cell phone. I'm like, if anything go on to my cell phone get caught up, that's on y'all. And you gonna end up have to pay $1,000 for another cell phone, and it's gonna be extra on it. I said, so what you want to do? You want me to let that roll, or you want me to, you know what I'm saying, stop that like I did? And after that, me and him got cool. Like all my tattoos on my back, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now, did you? Now, I know you were. Uh, I know you were a tough guy. That goes without saying. You were a sincere tough guy. But did you have a crew? Were there guys that you were with in prison?
Yeah. Like I had two of the tallest guys in prison
Mm.
at Whiteville. One of them was like 6'4", the other one like 6'8", 6'9".
Damn.
And when I tell you them guys they didn't mind fighting.
Yeah.
They didn't mind fighting. Then when I went to the Turner Center, I had two of the biggest guys on the compound, period. And both of them was well over 300 pounds.
Damn.
And you talking about strong, them some strong boys right there.
Now,
And
did
they
you
wouldn't
did
go.
you did you make friends with these guys intentionally, knowing that hey, listen, I gotta make sure that I stay safe no matter what, or was it just you guys just got along? You just got along with the big strong dudes, and that was really it.
We just got along. You know,
That
I
was
ain't,
it.
cause they big, they know I'll run into them too.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right.
Like
Right.
I wouldn't study that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But them end up being some good guys though.
Yeah.
Like when I was in prison, you know what I'm saying, me and one of the big guys, we used to get called out, man, the warden wanna see y'all.
Mhm.
It's Super Bowl Sunday. We sitting at the warden house at Super Bowl Sunday.
Really.
Yeah. We watch Super Bowl eating pizza. While everybody else, you know what I'm saying, at the parks and stuff like that.
All right. That sounds pretty cool, man. Did you ever have a problem like with somebody finding out something like that you had special treatment or anything?
Nah, cause like people know you don't tell when can't nobody find out nothing unless you open your mouth.
Right. Right.
And like I ain't opening my mouth, and I know he wasn't saying nothing. Like ain't nobody gonna know but the guards who let us go there.
Hmm.
So they ain't gonna say nothing because we bring them back food. When we come back, we got like a pizza for them that he told, hey, look, get this to what's called when you go back. So we
Right.
bring them back pizza, but we got a whole pizza to ourselves. But like when I used to go in the park, like the pieces already cut big, so I take my little, you know what I'm saying, little spoon or whatever, and I cut them in half again to where everybody can get some. I would like I already ate some, but I got a whole. I share it with everybody else.
Right. It's amazing how respect, even in the worst times, respect is always, especially among men, it's always considered high value. You know what I mean? Like if you show respect, you get respect back.
Yeah,
It's always seems to be the case, no matter if like you're at work or you're at a veteran or on the street or even in prison. I every once in a while I get into a conversation with a girl about you know getting into fights because a lot of these girls say, "Oh, I could fight a man and I don't care and I'm tough and all this." And I'm like, but you don't understand the difference. It's not about being tough, right? There is a understanding, an internal understanding that men have that if you stand your ground and I stand my ground, then we respect each other.
yeah,
I was like, women don't have that. Women hate each other for the rest of their lives if they get into a fight.
yeah,
and,
yeah.
and I try to explain that, and it's like one ear and out the other. But it's natural to a guy. It's completely natural. A lot of times, your best friends are the guys that you've gotten into a fight with, and so on and so forth. There's an instant respect. That's why fighters hug each other at the end of fights.
It's respect.
That's it.
Now I'm gonna tell you, like I seen some stuff in prison, right?
All right, go ahead.
I seen this one guy. I ain't gonna say his name though,
Okay.
but this one guy, when I tell you, he was big, wear glass. When you look at him, you'll be like, oh, he look like he stole cars or something. Straight up killer.
Really? Black guy, white guy, Spanish guy?
Black guy, a straight
Uh-huh.
up killer. Like I'm coming from the chow hall one day, and he walking in front of me, and I'm calling his name. So he's slowing down, but as he's slowing down, we going around the corner. Like some dudes come around the corner and stop and talk to him. So by the time I catch up with him, I heard him tell one of the guys, "Man, y'all, this ain't what y'all want right here. Y'all know y'all don't want this." Now this guy here, this guy know. I'm talking about 3, 4 martial arts, and he's strong as an ox. I
Right.
know he's strong. The man put me in an arm lock one day and got my arm stretched out and pushing my arm down. So I turned my wrist over, and I'm coming back up. The man power me back down.
Really?
So I know he's strong. So
Right.
when he telling them guys like this ain't what y'all want, so one of the guys said, "Man, we gonna have to find out." I said, "Oh yeah." When I walked up, I said, "Oh yeah, y'all gonna find out." And he
Right.
was like, he looked at me like, "Nah, bro, I don't want you to get in this." He said, "Cause if anything happened right here," he said, "we going on lockdown." So when he said it, he was like, "Just go ahead, bro. I got this right here." So I'm like, "All right." So I walk, and when I walk, I'm looking back. I see the man raising his shirt up, and when he raising his shirt up, he coming up out his pants with something so long. Let me see, it about that long,
A shank that big?
man. And
Jesus.
I turned the corner, but evidently didn't nothing happen. And like in that prison, it's cameras everywhere.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So so they didn't say nothing. He didn't get in trouble, nothing like that. But I caught back up with him like, "Hey man, what's up? What that problem?" He was like, "Man, them young dudes was talking like they must didn't understand or know who I was." And I'm talking about he's soft spoken. So I had him around me, and I had another dude. I ain't gonna say his first name, but he used to be called Karate on the first name. Then they called him by his name.
Hmm.
And I tell you, I seen a man jump up, kick a TV off the stand.
Do you remember
Look,
what the beef? Do you remember what the beef was over between those guys or not?
no, he ain't never tell me. He was saying something like them, like they were sent to talk to him or something like that. I'm like, yeah, they must have been some new guys didn't know who he was or something like that.
Right.
Because if you know, dude, you know this man is a straight up killer. I'm talking about he gonna shut the compound down by himself.
Right. So did anything actually happen or no? It was stopped immediately.
Nah, it was stop.
All right, good. All right.
Like then, like some of his guys end up. It was an incident that happened on the street to where a shooting took place at my kid's mama house.
Wow.
that didn't even have nothing to do with them, and ended up killing her sister.
Oh,
And
wow.
my daughter was in the house. So when I see this, and I go and I tell them, somebody gonna pay for all this right here, and I mean somebody and their family's gonna pay for this. And the police like, hey, you can't, talk like that. But I ended up running into some guys like in prison, and one of the guys was talking on about a situation like that. I'm like, yeah, you remember this happened over there? What's called? That was kind of crazy, wasn't it? And the whole time he talking, and I got one of my guys standing on the side of him, and he got his shank on. So he looking at me, and nodding his head like, do you want me to get him? So I'm shaking my head, talking to him, but I'm like, yeah, yeah. So I'm listening to him, I'm asking him questions because I'm trying to see if it's him
Right.
that one of the guys that did it. He was like, yeah, man. He said, man, them dudes who did it, man, he like, man, that's messed up. I was like, oh, so that ain't had nothing to do with you. I said, man, yeah, because they went in there, they weren't playing. He was like, no, man. He said, I'd never do nothing like that. He said, man, but I know who did it though. If he would have said he did, he wouldn't have left that spot walking.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't gonna start nothing. But that's one of the things. Like it took me a long time to let go. I'm talking about it took me. My daughter told me while I was in prison, Dad, leave it alone,
Right.
cause I was still on that. I was looking for them guys while I was
Yeah.
in prison.
Well, you know what? Thank God you didn't, because you would have never got out of prison if that was the case, right?
Yeah.
So, so before we get to when you got out, what was the craziest thing you've ever seen in prison?
And I seen a dude. Have you ever watched Martin Lawrence back in the day?
Yeah, sure.
You remember when Martin Lawrence got to fight with Tommy Hearns?
Yeah, yeah.
You
That's a
remember how
great.
big his head was?
Yeah.
I literally seen a dude head that big. I'm
Really?
talking about they beat him so bad, beat him with a garbage can and everything else. When they had to airlift him, they had to put him on a helicopter to take him out. They beat him so bad, and one of the guys ended up he getting initiated, and we had some hooks on the wall that you hang your jacket and stuff on. End up running into the hook.
Oh,
I gone.
wow.
Yeah, I'm talking about. And then I go in one room like one time, and going in to holler at somebody, but the door ain't locked. So I open the door up, and it's like three, maybe four dudes in the room. Got a little young dude on his knees,
Oh, oh,
and they end up taking turns.
oh man. Oh, oh man.
I done seen some stuff, and I'm like, yeah, some of the stuff I'm like, I don't need to be seeing this type of stuff.
Yeah, right.
But like I tell everybody, I wouldn't change a day that I did in prison. I wouldn't change a day of it. I wouldn't give none of it damn day back. Cause when I went to jail, I wasn't grown. I wasn't a man. Put it like this. I was grown, but I wasn't a man.
Right.
Going to prison and looking and learning and talking to people, reading and stuff like that. Got me education and everything in prison. Came out of prison a grown man.
Right.
Talking about new perspective on life. Like I usually when like people couldn't touch me. I ain't want you to don't touch me.
Right.
People was touching me in prison. Man, what's up, man? It's just my sense of humor got a whole lot better. I started accepting it. Prison opened my eyes a whole lot more.
So what year did you get out of prison?
I got out 2015.
Wow. Okay. So 2015.
Yep.
And then tell me how you went from 2015, how you got out of prison, and then how you became a pro bodybuilder. Because you literally made a complete 180. Now you're this relatively famous bodybuilder in the IFBB, winning Chicago pro who's going to the Olympia. I mean, that's got to be like that's got to be like, how did I go from point A to point B? That's got to be like mind blowing.
Yeah, like when I was in prison, I used to tell them guys, I used to be a personal trainer in prison.
Mm-hmm.
I used to help them guys work out. I used to tell them dudes like, man, y'all gonna see me in the magazine and on stage. They'll laugh, man, boy, you crazy, mother. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm for real, man. They be like, man, you crazy, man. You ain't finna get out there and do that. You finna get out there and do something else. So I'm like, nah, I'm finna get out there and get on stage, man. Y'all see me. Just what? So when I got out, like 2015, you know, I got to take some time to get used to being out because I'm not used to that. And I like stuff you see on TV when people first get out of prison, how they act. I ain't think it was real, but it's
Mm-hmm.
real. Like when I first got out, me going to the store, if me and you go to the store, I wouldn't leave in your side. Because
An
I'm talking about,
adjustment.
I couldn't walk down the aisle by myself because I wouldn't adjust.
Yeah.
Then
Did you come out paranoid or did you come out cold?
both,
Okay, that makes sense.
both.
All right.
'Cause
How long did it take you to adjust to, everyday life again and just, understanding that you weren't in a threat, you weren't in danger?
it took me a minute, man, because like if we at the store, somebody, you know, somebody standing in line behind you, I turn around and be facing them, looking at them like, why you standing up so close on me?
Mm-hmm.
Because you ain't have that in prison. Then like in prison, you kind of know what to expect, but when you get out of prison, you don't know what to expect from these people. They got guns and everything else, and you know up in there, all right, this dude got a knife. Okay, I'm finna beat you up and take your knife though. So you got one swing with your knife, and what you gonna do after that? But you
Right.
getting out of prison, and man, this man got a gun. He got 6 or 18 shots or whatever. So you got to watch all that. So I was like, I was on my P's and Q's just look. I used to watch everything.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was like 2016 where I went to work for a minute. I used to work at a warehouse, working 6 days a week, 12-hour shifts.
Mm-hmm.
So I left that job and I went to be a bouncer at a strip club. And the guy that was that manager, big guy. So I was telling him like, man, you ought to come to the my gym and meet my coach. So all right, I went to the gym, met his coach, told him what I wanted to do. The man told me, look, I'm gonna send you a workout plan. Tomorrow get started. So I was like 250 pounds then.
Wow.
Yeah, power lifter, 250 though.
Gotcha.
So he gave me the plan, and like I went on vacation and came back and started like February of 2017. From 2017, from being 250 pounds to June 2017, I was 185 pounds,
Wow.
light heavyweight. My first show,
Wow. Where was your first show?
Tennessee State.
Okay. And how did you do?
I won.
Okay. And then you won that local show, and then where'd you go from there?
I went to the Mr. Tennessee,
Mm.
and I won in my category, which I should have won that show. But I dropped down from this show. I was a light heavyweight in my first one. Then I went to middleweight in my second one.
Mm.
And for that, I lost like doing check-in. I lost like 14 pounds in less than 4 hours. Yeah, just to make weight for middleweight, 176, 175, or something like that.
Wow. Okay. So how many local shows did you do before you did a national level show?
Oh, I think I did 3. I did the Flex Lewis Classic. I won that one. Then I got back on my diet. I ain't have a cheat meal for like six months.
Right.
No burgers, no fries, no nothing. I went and did Junior Nationals in Chicago that year. And the cameraman that was there, he told me when I in check-in, he was like, cause you asked people to take the clothes off, hit a pose or whatever. So I take my clothes off, hit the front double, and the man come away from on the side of the camera, looked at me, and looked again, and when I walked up, I was like, "You good?" He was like, "Yeah." He said, "You won."
Real?
He said, "You
Yeah,
won."
yeah.
And Don Trevine,
Yeah.
Tripoli, yeah,
Trivellini, yeah.
yeah, he was at the show. I beat him and
Really?
Martin Fitzwater.
Really?
Yeah,
Those are young dudes, man. Like, I don't even
yeah.
think they're 25 years old yet.
Brett was there. Brett did classic that year. I was there with him too. So
Really?
yeah, I won that one.
And
And
then, and
it was so crazy because everybody got their pro card at this show, but the bodybuilder.
how does that work? How does that happen? I don't know how to, I swear to God. Everything comes off bodybuilding, no matter which way you slice it.
Yeah,
Bodybuilding is the original sport, right? I don't know how you get a pro card in every other division except that one.
yeah.
All right, so you win the junior nationals, and then where does it go from there?
Yeah, they told me like they were like go do what's called the universe. That's when I first met Steve. Big Steve was at the show.
Yeah, Steve
He,
Weinberger.
yeah, Steve just showing and Jim Manuel was at the show.
Uh,
And so everybody was like, go do the universe. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I do it, you know.
right.
So I ended up going to do the universe. I won 35 and older overall. Then I won 40 and over overall. So I left with like 4, maybe 5 trophies. I got my pro card in both.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. And then what year was that you turned pro?
2018,
So 2015, you get out of prison. By 2018, you're a professional bodybuilder. And then what's the first pro show you do?
Tampa,
And what year was that? Same year?
2018,
And how'd you do there?
11.
Okay, all right.
Which I shouldn't have did it, but you know I had to do it because I'm like I got to see what they looking like. My
Right.
body wouldn't respond in the way it did for my first shows, and so I'm like, okay. I went there and I placed 11. I'm
Mm,
like, nah, this ain't gonna happen again. I can't do that no more.
okay. And then where'd you go from there?
I went to Puerto Rico in 2019 against Eduardo. You remember that year when he did?
Eduardo Carrera?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm
All
gonna tell
right.
you though, all you got to do is watch. Eduardo good. I beat Eduardo.
Really? You legitimately beat him that year?
Now listen, when you watch it, just watch it.
All right, I'm
I
gonna check it
I
out.
I know I beat him though. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. All
But I'm
right.
gonna tell you, like, that was the year he did the New York Pro.
Yeah, I remember that year. Sure.
Him
Yeah.
and Oscar Nunny, remember that?
Yeah, absolutely. And they gave it to Ashkenani. Everybody thought he should have won. So you're saying okay? So they gave him a gift in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I know I beat him then, man.
Okay. So that happens sometimes, man.
When I came, you know, that's when uh who was it? Dwayne Walker did the show and Brett did the show. Brett first show was 212 because he switched over from classic to this show. And
Hmm.
everybody had Brett winning the show. Then nobody see me coming.
Yeah.
So when I showed up at the show, I came in, I was already like 211. And I filled out all the way almost. So
Right.
when I got on stage, you'll see how much food is in the condition I had. You tell me who won when you see it.
All right. So 2019 Puerto Rico Pro. I'm gonna check. I'm gonna look it up definitely. All right. So and then from there, so you come in second, and where do you go from there?
I did Puerto Rico, then I went back to Tampa because I'm like, okay, I got to redeem myself at Tampa.
Uh,
So I did Tampa. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, I did Tampa.
Same year, 2019.
2019. No, I didn't. No, I did Chicago Pro. They told me to go do Chicago. That's what it
Okay.
was.
Okay.
They were like bring a little more tight conditioning. You know what I'm saying? So okay. So I go do Chicago Pro. I'm in first call out the whole time now.
Right.
And so the finals come out, I play 7.
Seventh? How'd that happen?
I don't know.
All right. Well, and then okay, so you come. So that's 2019, and you placed seventh in the Chicago Pro. So you had to be disappointed if you were in the top five the whole time, and then they placed seventh.
Yeah,
So
now even the
that's
guys that the 212 guys, backstage, we talked.
mhm. Yeah,
And they
sure.
was like, man, you the only guy that scared me. They were like, you got to be fighting for the at least the second spot. Lloyd Dollar won the Chicago Pro that year. And
Who
I knew
did?
he was Lloyd Dollar.
Okay,
I knew he was gonna win. I seen it in him. I know he was gonna win.
right.
But the other guys, they were like, man, you you'll be second though. And I played seven. Then like
Oh.
2020 come around. Okay. George the Bull switched from classic
Hmm.
to 212. He was doing New York. I was doing Tampa because I'm like, I got to win Tampa.
Right.
So he ended up switching from doing New York. He go do Tampa.
Hmm.
I lose to George.
Oh man. Okay,
Yeah.
so in Tampa, you lose to George. Okay,
Mhm.
yeah, all the shows were in Florida at that and in 2020, right? They
It
moved
was
everything to
COVID.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. And then what place did you come in with Tampa that year?
I got second.
Second again. Oh, that
Yeah.
fucking sucks. Yeah. Okay, and then from
It was
there.
a month or two later, it was New York Pro.
Okay.
So I was lighter. I was about 205 at Tampa. Then so New York Pro, I came in like right at 211.5.
Hmm.
And like I used to see, going to the gym before we could go to the stage or whatever. I see Antoine and Quinn Beastwood and all them in there. They're like, man, what is you doing open? I had filled out so much to where, okay, this my look.
Right, right, right.
And when I got on stage, when I seen them dudes backstage, I'm like, nah, this over with. So I
Hmm.
won New York. Jason came second, Jason Lowe, which turned
Ah,
out to be one of my guys now.
so you won your pro in
Yeah,
2020,
yeah.
and then I know you won Chicago last year. That was well, 2022. You won Chicago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in 2021, did you win any shows or
No, I did one show. I did 10th and placed third.
okay? So literally you became a bodybuilding champion. You get out of prison for murder after 15 years, and then you literally turn yourself around and become a bodybuilding champion, winning the New York Pro, the Chicago Pro, and then landing on the Olympia stage.
Yeah, my first Olympia, I placed, I think it was eighth or ninth. My first Olympia.
Wow. And that was 2020.
Yeah.
Wow. And then 2023, you did the Olympia again, and how'd you do?
Shoot, I don't even know.
Yeah, yeah. 2020 was a little weak, but 2023 it was stacked.
Yeah,
You
I'm
know,
talking about like,
Yo,
like I tell them guys, a lot of them guys was mad, but I tell them, I said, look, y'all, look what you're on the stage with, man. You on stage with everybody, the best it is. You know what I'm
best in
saying?
the world. Yeah, I mean, you can come.
So
Yeah,
you can't be
exactly.
mad because everybody want to be number one, but in the judge's eyes, we can't. Everybody can't be number one.
Yeah, exactly. So now you married, or you just you live with your girl, or
I got like eight. No, I got so many women. It don't make sense. I got like I tell everybody be asking me, man, what's this and that. I got to tell them like I got women from the ages of 11 to 83.
yeah.
You know, and I
But
got a lot of my granddaughter is 11 and my grandmama is 83. So in between that,
wow.
it is what it is in between that.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So how many kids you have?
I got two girls.
Two girls, and how many grandkids you got?
I got one that I claim that's my little guy because I kind of raised him. Well, I ain't kind of raised him, but I
Yeah.
got a granddaughter from my daughter.
So you got two kids, two grandkids. Life is good.
Yeah,
You're a bodybuilding champion, man. You went through hell and back, but man, I'm sure glad that everything turned out good because if it wasn't for bodybuilding, you and I wouldn't know each other. You know,
yeah.
even though I was a shit bodybuilder, I'm trying to be a better podcaster.
Yeah, like I tell people, they be talking, man, you think I can do it? No, like after this, they'll see it, but I ain't never really put it out there like this. But if I can do it, man, everybody else can do it. It ain't no limit on what you can and can't do. If you go by what somebody else tell you, you can't do
It's
it, and
already
you
over.
listen to them, you ain't gonna do it then.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it's already over. Yeah, 100%. Man, I'm glad that you made this complete turnaround, dude. And now you're a family man. You're doing well. And you want to hear something funny? That what was funny is that one YouTuber that shit on me. I was I what was funny is that I knew that was coming, right? I knew it was
Hmm.
coming, but I was like, I got to hit back. I'm like, I'm gonna, and then I controlled myself. I was like, I'm gonna make another reaction video. And I was like, all right, I controlled myself, right? But while I was thinking, who am I gonna use to make that reaction video with? I was like, out of all the guys on the panel, I was like, Bo would be great to do that reaction video with immediately. And then I was like, all right, no, I'm not doing the reaction video. I'm just gonna let it go. This is all in 10 minutes of a thought process, right? I'm like, I'm just gonna let it
Hmm.
go. No big deal. Blah blah blah. But there was something about like I knew like just talking to you. I'm like, all right, yeah. If anybody, like, it's gonna be him. But anyway, man, I'm just happy that you're on top of the world now, man. Really, and I'm glad that we're friends, and I'm glad that you're one of the guys on my podcast and one of the guys on MD Muscle Talk because it's a lot of fun. And it seems like all the guys that we got together are solid dudes, man. Like really,
Yeah, I
all
like everybody on the team, man.
yeah, really, like Arns, uh, Danny, Carlos is aces. You, what's his name is taking some time because he's prepping for the New York Pro. Nate.
Hmm.
Even the guys that come in and come out like uh, Doug Fouché. I mean, these are solid guys, man. There's something about I don't know what it is. You
Just
know,
everybody got a different. Everybody got something different.
yeah, but there seems to be a mutual respect.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And the guys that don't, they kind of, you know, we kind of get rid of. The guys that kind of don't flow, they just kind of we change as we go. You know. But listen, man, I can't thank you enough for coming on and doing this. It really means a lot to me that you chose my YouTube channel to talk about this, man. And I'm really grateful. I'm grateful that yesterday before you got on, I was talking to King Kamali before we started, and I said to him, I'm not a, I started like I'm a nobody from nowhere. I did a couple of NPC shows. I was never a great bodybuilder. It is what it is, right? And when I started the YouTube channel, it's just clawing and grinding and clawing and grinding. I'm not a Dave Palumbo. I'm not a Fuad Abiad. I'm not a Nick Trigili. I don't have a name in the industry where I could jump up like that. But then one thing that I'm really appreciative of is guys like you, King, Ons, Carlos, that were like, yeah, let's do it. Let's get together and do it. Even though I'm not on the same level of bodybuilding with you, I'm not even close. But you guys are still like, part of the team and treat me like one of your own. And it's greatly appreciated because without you, I couldn't really do it, man. So just, much love and much respect, brother. I really, really appreciate that, man.
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So I'll talk to you soon, but I will speak. We're going to do another show on Wednesday. And it is Thursday night right now. Tomorrow, I think we're getting the premiere of our show this week
Okay.
and on MD. And that's it, brother.
Okay, hold on. Before we go, hey y'all, look, y'all hit that button, subscribe, man, so y'all can be on for everything else that we put out. And look, just read what's at the bottom. Hit the button, man.
That's
Y'all
it.
ain't missing out. Y'all gonna miss out if y'all don't do it.
That's right. It doesn't take anything. It hits that little red subscribe button, man. Hit like, and if you like it, send it to a friend or two, and that's it. All right, brother. We'll talk soon, man. Thanks again.
All right, you're welcome, brother. Thank you.
All right. Later.
Yeah.